talked like we are now in the professional circles, it would sound like heresy. Like how dare you say that these people don't need what we're offering?
Yeah.
Out. It's amazing. Well, it's getting dark in your room.
It is.
I'm
Sorry,
guessing the sun is setting.
I was going to put my lights on. Let me just put my lights on.
8:30 there. I didn't know if you needed to go or what. For those who don't know, I'm on the West Coast in the United States, and she's in the United Kingdom, and we're 8 hours apart. So here it's like lunchtime, and there it's like bedtime.
Well, so essentially, while we've been on here, I've seen people going for running, but at 8 p.m., so about 25 minutes ago, everyone went outside and clapped the carers. So every Thursday night at 8, and it's actually it brings tears to your eyes because I'm an NHS worker, and it does make you feel quite emotional.
Oh wow! I've seen videos of that, but that just happened, huh?
Yeah, and it's lovely. People come right out and drum on their bin lids and play the bagpipe or do whatever they do. But I think in this era of celebrity and people getting excited about famous people, it's quite nice as an NHS doctor to have people come outside and clap.
That is cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
what town are you in?
I'm in Oxford.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said that at the beginning. I don't think I was recording then.
Yeah, so it's we're new. We only came back to the UK at the beginning of March, so it's a very unusual time to move at the beginning of this lockdown.
I'll bet, yeah. We could honestly talk for a long time. I want to respect your time, and maybe we'll do this again because it's really fascinating.
We can reconnect again, and certainly if any listeners are particularly interested in any aspects of what I do, I'd be happy to talk about that.
How can people contact you, and do you have any publications or what's your favorite book recommendation that you would offer to folks?
So I have got a lot of my own publications, so I must send them to you actually.
Yes, you must.
I'll send them to you, but also having just moved and lived overseas for several years, I need to get things like my Twitter feed and things like that up. So give me 24 hours or so to get myself sorted out. And
it's fine. This won't post for a while, so you can say it on here, and then people will look you up, in a week.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'll get myself sorted out. But I have got an email address if people need to get hold of me.
Yeah, go ahead and say it if you want, if you don't mind. Just say it on here, and we'll.
Yeah, so these will be on my publications as well. So okay. It's rebecca.sych.ox.act.uk.
.ox.act.uk.
So .ox.
Yeah.
.ac.uk.
Okay. What's the AC?
Academic.
Oh, got it. Okay. Cool. Thanks. What's your Twitter?
And I don't know my Twitter, so I've got to get that up.
You've got to get one up.
I'll have to link it. I'll have to link it to yours.
That's fine. Are you reading anything or listening to any great podcasts lately that you'd like to recommend?
So I'm not actually. I've been working as an NHS worker.
Yeah.
So I've been incredibly busy. So
nose to the grindstone.
Yeah, but actually those systematic reviews, so I'm a very boring person actually. So those systematic reviews about the sort of debriefing, those are really interesting. So I'll put them on my Twitter feed and send you the address when I get it.
Please do. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll just have Safiso post links maybe to the when the podcast goes up. So
yes. Well, when I'm well connected again.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being on here. I always love learning. I said I wrote down three things. One was mental health literacy. 2 is the face validity. And the 3rd I didn't actually share with you, but anxiety's hallmark is avoidance. I love that. I teach that anxiety is rooted in fear chiefly, and often of the future, which is something we don't understand because it's not here yet. And so, being driven by certainty and liking to know things, the future makes us scared. but darned if we aren't avoiding it by worrying about it and trying to control it. That's really awesome. I love that. So
it's funny. I think I did 30 clinical interviews called the SCID. So you use the DSM to do a clinical interview, and I did 30 of them early in my career, and it really does clarify your thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's helpful. Yeah, I don't think diagnoses are that helpful always. And I think that's the interesting thing about what we were talking about young people. Actually, we found that sub-threshold symptoms. So, a lot of professionals will get on and say, "Oh, just being sad isn't depression and whatever." But actually, we're finding more and more that actually distress and things that don't quite reach criteria for depression are probably have bad outcomes as well.
Yeah. And now, of course, after I tried to wrap up the podcast, we're going back in another direction. No, this is good though, because it's one of my personal soapboxes, which is that we, as a profession under the medical umbrella, we're the only one that isn't allowed to bill insurance for preventative care. So there's no like, pop the hood, check the belts and hoses twice a year, send you on your way. You have to be diagnosable and effectively broken before you can get care, which is absurd. So there's these criteria that we need to meet in the DSM. And if you don't meet them, you could do something like, not otherwise specified or whatever it is that's sort of generic, but then you run the risk of insurance rejecting the claim for this very wounded person who just doesn't happen to meet the ridiculous criteria that are very rigid and sterile. And the
danger in young people is actually, we know those bad outcomes in terms of relationships and employment and suicidality, that they're related also to sub-threshold disorders. So, that is really unfortunate. I think that we can't do more preventative. And, there's some stuff in schools, but really the things I'd like to do would be sort of around university age.
Yeah, for sure.
Transitioning to university or away from their home household.
The anxiety on campus is terrible these days.
Yeah.
Financial pressures, increasing costs, the need to perform, the diminishing outputs as far as in terms of salary on the back end compared to the debt you take on. Everything's changed in the last 12 to 15 years. I mean, this is recent.
And it's made that period of transition really, really hard.
Very. So number 4 that
I've learned for an ill-equipped group of people who a lot of whom have spent a lot of time on screens and
protected.
And
protected.
And potentially overprotected. Yeah.
So the 4th thing I just learned is a sub-threshold diagnosis or disorder. Sub-threshold disorder. So I'm going to take that back now, and I'm going to train my fledgling clinicians how to articulate that on a prior auth request.
Brilliant. Right. Well, thank you so much for letting me rattle on.
No, this is great. I love learning. I know everybody's going to appreciate this. It's first time using Zoom. I really hope the audio comes out. So if it doesn't, my apologies. Send us donations and you'll get better quality.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Rebecca. It's been great meeting you, and we'll stay in touch for sure. On behalf of the Noggin Notes team and the Zephyr Wellness family, we wish you great mental wellness. Have a wonderful evening.